There has never been a more important time to move in a vegan direction. Whether you're ready to start, restart, or re-energize your vegan or plant-based practice, this podcast is for you. I'm Michelle Olander, life coach, vegan, ADHD matriarch, travel lover, and smoothie loather. And I know that it's the details that get in the way of your vegan journey. But I like to believe that the obstacle is always the way. So every week we meet here where I translate the tools of life coaching and Stoic philosophy. I bring you actionable tips, some laughs, interesting guests, and vegan ideas for everyone at any age. All to help you veg your best. Episode 213, The Wisdom and Opportunity of Being Off Track. Welcome back, my Veg Your Bestie. Welcome back. If you can hear my voice, this is the sound of cough due to cold. And this week, I hope it doesn't sound too bad. This week, I want to talk briefly about on track and off track. On the wagon, some of you say, on the wagon or off the wagon. Because I'd like to suggest that no one is always on track with anything, and no one is always off track with everything. That's in any given area of life. All of us are off track sometimes in some areas, right? Just being human. And if you can figure out how to get back on track or stop falling off the wagon in any one area of your life, you can take that wisdom and apply it to all kinds of areas of your life. All of us have some idea of how we want to live, how we'd like to function, or how we want to run our homes or our businesses, how we want to share space and time with our friends and colleagues and family members, how we want to handle our personal grooming or style, or the gardens in our yards, or our fitness, or our community responsibilities or volunteering. All of us have ideas of how we'd like to be keeping up on the news or with social media or with far-flung relatives, how we want to be up to date with our reading lists, our theater, our creative projects. And some of us feel really off track. But what's the difference between people who are feeling very off track and people who get off track for all the normal human reasons, like being out of town or busy or distracted or sick in some portion of your life? Maybe you've been caregiving, or maybe you have a big project or a renovation or moving going on. What's the difference between those of us who feel normally off track and people who feel really off track? We had a week with our kids, and I want you to think about some part of your life, some aspect of your life where you don't worry too much about having gotten off track. And that's different for each and every one of us, right? Maybe you never get behind on your emails or correspondence or bill paying or tax preparation or laundry, but my guess is that you do get behind now and then in basically every aspect of your life. But in many of those parts of your lives, you know exactly what to do to get back on track. Maybe you throw in a load of laundry or do the dishes that are in the sink, or you go through the mail looking just for the bills that it might be in there, or you just pick up your phone and make a hair appointment, or you put on your shoes and you go outside for a short walk. Maybe you just empty the waste baskets into the garbage cans, or you make a shopping list, or you send a belated birthday card and say, "So sorry, I missed it this year." Maybe you ask a friend or a family member to give you a hand with something tomorrow morning, or you book your car in for an oil change, or you renew your driver's license. Yes, it's late, but you're getting it done. It's not that you are never off track, but in many areas of your life, you just know what the next action is that's necessary to get back on track. And in general, there's not a lot of drama or self-condemnation or overwhelm. It's just a matter of, whoa, I'm a little bit behind here. I'm off track. Time to clear off the counter. Time to empty the dishwasher, take the recycling out, compost the dead plants, make a dental appointment. And last week, I talked about catch-up days. I talked about how I have been trying this year to catch up with a bunch of rather overdue medical appointments that I had let slide for a variety of reasons. And that took a number of months and phone calls and visits. And no, it's not all finished, but I would say, back on track. Because remember, you're never all finished, right? I don't even think we want to be all finished. All finished means really all finished. So at any given moment, there are things that you are probably a little bit off track with. And I think there is some wisdom and opportunity in paying attention to where you are off track and where you're having trouble or no trouble getting back on track. This past week, we had a bunch of kids here, and we also had what I tend to call the preschool plague. Everyone was sick. Everyone, to some greater or lesser extent, was sick. My husband, who is very seldom sick, was sick. I was sick. And yesterday, the kids and the dogs left, and even though I was sick, I still knew exactly what to do. I went room to room just to make sure all the garbage, the recycling, food, dishes, laundry were out of the rooms, toilets were flushed, and sinks were just basically wiped out. Not perfectly, just a once through. Opened some windows, and I decided what needs to be washed right now. And I threw those things into a load of laundry. No drama, right? No drama. Just make sure there's nothing damp, stinky, or particularly dirty sitting around. And because there was a house full, and I hadn't been feeling great last week, there was also a lot of work to catch up with on Monday morning. And that, my Veg Your Bestie, is where I do often have some drama, where I have historically felt a lot of drama, a lot of that, oh my gosh, where do I start? There's so much. My time's not my own. What's the point? Why did I even start this? I can't be mom/wife/grandmother and be a podcaster and a vegan life coach. Well, okay, that's been my historic area of I can't. I just don't know. It's too much. It's too late. Maybe if I were younger. And that's why last year I hired a life coach, and I think I've mentioned her a couple of times here on the podcast, Tracy Hoth. I hired a life coach who was trained in the same coaching program that I went through, because it is the coaching program I really respect, and I have experienced so much value from coaches in this program. But Tracy's specialty is in organization and systems coaching for other life coaches. Brilliant niche, actually. And that coaching that I've gotten with Tracy Hoth has been life-changing for me, because bit by bit, we have set up together a few powerful strategies, and we've discontinued together a couple dozen unhelpful strategies that I have used. And then with Tracy checking in with me periodically, I've kept at it. I've created a new practice. As I kept practicing these new, slightly awkward, but more powerful strategies, it's gotten easier. And I've also kept practicing not doing those very very practiced but unhelpful strategies that I had been using, like just writing things everywhere and putting things in a bunch of different apps and not double checking things. So not only did it get easier, but I was able to take on more and more in my work, more clients, more work, more creative projects, and I was able to delegate a bit more. And am I amazing? Yeah, I'm amazing sometimes, but I still have, right now I have still some website drama. But what's really changed is that I don't use overwhelm in my business. I do not use overwhelm in creating this content here at Veg Your Best. I don't use it against myself anymore. I don't use it as evidence that I can't do it, that I'm too old, that it's too late, that I don't have the right skill set. Nope. Sometimes I'm behind and sometimes I'm on track. I just keep recommitting to the things I know help me stay on track and the things that I know that do support me in getting a podcast out to you every week for over 212 consecutive weeks. I just keep recommitting to the actions that have me showing up for my coaching clients and for all the people out there ready to start, restart, or re-energize their vegan or plant-based practices, because it's all just a practice, right? It's all just a practice. But in some areas, we have a lot of really effective practice. And in other areas, we just don't know how to do it yet. You know, a little over 4 years ago, I started this podcast. I started Veg Your Best a little over 4 years ago. I had an idea, but I had no idea how to do it. My idea was to aim a podcast at those of us in midlife or later life who also had an idea, who also had ideas but no idea how to do them, how to make those ideas reality. Specifically, in the case of Veg Your Best, it was aimed at people who had an idea to start or restart moving in a vegan or plant-based direction, or wanted to re-energize their vegan ideals by maybe creating a vegan business or an initiative or an outreach or taking part in some sort of personal activism. And over these 4 years, I have had the opportunity to witness so many of you, all the amazing different ways you have harnessed the energy and connection that comes with a vegan lifestyle to create something all your own. And if you're still just in the beginning phase of it, please, I want you to know how excited I am that you are at the beginning phase of it. Don't judge your before against somebody else's after, okay? This is an exciting time if you are just starting a new idea. I am proud that I had that before, that idea that I didn't know how I was going to create. So, if you know in your own life, you know that you get off track. But in some areas, you know in your life, you just know how to get back on track, right? You know how to make the next best choice that gets you going. How you know exactly how to clean up the mess or get the traction you need. But maybe there's an area or two in your life where you find yourself off track, and that isn't just being off track. It's like a metaphor for everything that's ever been wrong in your life. It's the proof of your personal inadequacy. Okay, maybe I'm being dramatic because that's just me. In the areas where I am excited to make forward progress, but I just keep ending up in the same place, I make it mean all the things that are wrong with me. It's that all or nothing mindset that we have talked about so many times on this podcast. And the thing is, most of us don't have it in every area of our lives, but most of us have it in some area that really stings. You know, we have it in some area that really hurts, that we really use against ourselves. And we experience that feeling of being off track, of feeling behind, feeling lost, and we interpret it as, I'll never be able to. It's too late for me. I'm just not capable. It's never going to happen. But if you can figure out how to get back on track or stop falling off the wagon in one area of your life, if you can see how to get back on track in those no drama areas of your life, you can take that wisdom and you can apply it to all kinds of areas of your life that really matter and really excite you. So this week, I'm inviting you to notice what that is in your life. What do you notice that you've gotten backed up on or off track with, and you just get on with it? You know just what to do to get caught up. And what other areas of your life, when you fall behind, are you tempted, or do you actually just blame yourself? Or worse, do you just say, that's not for me, and you give up? I'm here today to suggest that there is a way to restart and re-energize any area of your life that feels off track and matters to you. Please don't give up, because if it matters to you, it really matters. It really matters. I want to encourage you to try coaching. And if there's something that you feel you need to accomplish or get on track with before you can focus on your plant-based or your vegan practice, let's do that. Let's do that. Every time you figure out how to get back on track or stop falling off the wagon in any one area of your life, you can take that wisdom and you can apply it to all kinds of areas of your life. I have said that at least 4 times in today's episode, and that is what I want you to hold on to. It's not bad news if you're off track. It's not. That's an opportunity. There's wisdom there. Because when you figure out how to get back on track or stop falling off the wagon in all those other areas of your life that seem to somehow get back on track pretty easily, please, you can take that wisdom and you can apply it to all kinds of areas of your life. So bring that consciousness to your world this week as you're going forward. Bring that consciousness to your life and to your plans. In any given moment, we feel on track in some areas and we feel off track in others. It's just a normal feeling that comes with real life and being human. I want to encourage you not to make that feeling of off track mean something about who you are, what your destiny is, and what you're capable of. What would you be doing right now if you hadn't stopped? Coaching's the most effective way I know to get that traction and blow your own mind about what you can still do, even at this point in your life. Whatever that point is, it's not only okay that you don't know how right now. It's exactly how new things work. I would love to work with you and be your coach this season. Please reach out. All the links are in the show notes. You don't need to do any of this alone. And in the meantime, make the next best choice and just veg your best.
Veg Your Best podcast production, music, and editing by Charlie Weinshank. Thanks, Charlie. Before you go, it would mean so much to me and the Veg Your Best team if you would hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, or share with someone you think might be interested. Something about algorithms, it helps bump us up a little in the rankings, and that's the best way to help others find the podcast and for us to find our audience. So, until next week, make it easy and veg your best.